Okay, so the next movie I wanted to talk about, which I am probably less doubtful about, is Rise of the Guardians. The book, originally titled The Guardians of Childhood, like, I can definitely see where this movie is going. Now, if you've seen this trailer too, then you can probably guess the same, that it's building off of our Mission Impossible remake, or our kind of Expendables action flick where a bunch of heroes sort of come together to, you know, do something epic. But in this case, though, they're directing this to the attention of something for kids, or in fact for those who like those who appreciate the personas and characters of our childhood. Okay, so the premise of the movie is this. You have a Russian Santa Claus, an Australian Easter Bunny, a hummingbird tooth fairy, and the Sandman, and Jack Frost grouping up to basically take down this evil darkness. So, I mean, basic setup sounds awesome though. From watching this trailer, like, I can kind of imagine this of being like a childhood A-team. Like, you've got, I mean, the focus here to reimagining the characters, these kind of childhood characters that we haven't had much detail about. You know, we've only had so few images, but for this movie to go out of its way to really build up something new, a new way of looking at these icons for us, is really, really exciting. And I want to see where they go with that, and I want to see how it works in this world. Like, I want to see, like, how their imagination takes off. Like, seriously, like Russian Santa and Australian Easter Bunny. Like, seriously, I don't know why the Easter Bunny has an accent. One thing that did draw me in, and I have to thank DeviantArt for this, was the preview of Jack Frost. And for some reason, I was really drawn into his character design. I don't know why, but it felt like it was one of those characters that will get really popular, especially on DeviantArt. And once the movie comes out, I'm sure that it'll definitely get more attention. Or he will, more specifically. But as far as really building up this reimagining action, it's working so far. And it has me hyped. From the look of the trailer, this has a lot of action in it, and I think it's going to work out really well. Because I mean, no one really wants to think about, I guess, their favor, or I mean, no one really wants to think about Santa Claus, like, fighting someone. I mean, sure, I guess you've had, like, you know, if Jesus and Santa Claus faced off, who'd win? I mean, it's kind of morbid when you think about your childhood icons sort of beating the shit out of each other. But I don't think it's going to be like this at all. I would like to see what kind of arsenal each kind of character has. Sort of like what each role plays, because we've kind of got this look of, you know, Easter Bunny is kind of this, you know, commando character who's got this, like, Batman-like arsenal. And then you've got Santa Claus with his own, like, leadership over his own factory, right? And he's got his own gadgets and his own magic workings incorporated with, like, regular items. I mean, and then you got the Sandman who works with the illusions kind of thing. And then you have the Tooth Fairy, which I thought was really weird at first to go with the hummingbird detail, but it actually makes more sense because fairies are already based off of both plant and animal life. So it looks great, like she has a great color design, so I'm gonna go with that, but she ends up having like this, she might end up having kind of this, like, you know, like stealth magic kind of thing, and she has her own forces as well. You know, speed might be to her advantage. I don't know, I feel like this is really balanced, and I know that Jack Frost will play a really good part in this, and I hope so at least. But, it definitely has me excited. I definitely want to see, like, I love it when reimagining is done better so much. I want to have my point of view change. I want to have my eyes opened, and I want to think. I want to really think and imagine and feel where this movie is going. I want to stay on to where this movie wants to go. Again, this movie is beautiful. Like, the effects are so good this time around. I don't know why, I'm really drawn in, but it feels like I'm finally, you know, I'm finally understanding the possibilities of CG, and maybe that's just me behind the times. Maybe other people can really appreciate what's going on. I mean, I'm not saying that I'm a hater, though. Like, I do like CG movies. I've liked it mostly because of story. Like, that's why I really like Toy Story 1 through 3. The story has, like, been really good. A lot of people cared for that. But as far as CG goes, it's always just been a medium of interpreting. But in this case, though, when you throw in just that extra detail of art in your CG movies, like, oh, it looks amazing. The effects and spells and magic are really up, like, top notch. I was even surprised by this. I was really brought to wonder about this. And again, if you are a fellow art student, or if you want to see something that's really astounding on screen, then maybe this would be a good place to look. And that's definitely why I'm going in, and I definitely want to think behind what the creators were going for. Okay, so the last note that I have to go on is what might hamper this movie, and I think it makes me think that I'm getting old, and I shouldn't be. I'm 22. But the way that comedy is going to work in this film, and I mean, you have so much action in it, it's going to need a really good balance. It's going to need a really good focus, or I guess even lack of focus, like of what kind of laughter that we want out of our audience for this, and something that doesn't completely ruin the track of the movie. And maybe that goes for all movies anywhere. But for something like this, though, we definitely want to stay on. I definitely want to stay, like, on track, and I don't want to be groaning, and I don't want to be not laughing at what kind of humor that they want to throw in at this. Like, I'm not saying that this movie would be better if it was just stone cold without any kind of comedy. I'm just saying that, well, action movies are subject to not having the most, like, memorable moments because of comedy, because of a one-liner, or because of a joke that works or doesn't work. And it doesn't help carry the movie. It sort of either fades into the back, or it just really disrupts our immersion. So I'm gonna warn this about Rise of the Guardians, but everything else, I'm definitely looking forward to seeing it. And once I see Rise of the Guardians, and once I see Epic, I will definitely make follow-up videos to review them. So here's to the end of the year and the next year, and hopefully we can have some fantasy movies that aren't average. So here's to some exceptional movies in the future.